You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up thinking you're the boss of your own story, only to realize, by lunch, you've somehow flipped the script on an entire industry? Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec. This isn't a story about one man's bad day at the airport. It's about what happens when quiet dignity meets a system built to test it at every turn. You might want to get comfortable, because this one goes from wait, what, to oh, hell no real quick. So, I'm Jamal Washington, CEO of Washington Technologies, and honestly, on this particular morning, life felt like it was clicking into place. The view from my penthouse in Manhattan stretched out over Central Park, sunlight spilling across marble floors that still felt surreal some days. I kept the same morning routine I had back on the South Side. Push-ups, meditation, protein shake. The works, because no matter how high you climb, old habits keep you grounded, you know what I mean? Today was supposed to be a big day, a $500 million contract waiting on the West Coast. My team in San Francisco prepped to take our company, my company, from a $3 billion valuation into the stratosphere. At 6:30 a.m., my driver Andre was navigating through early Manhattan traffic like he was born to do it, and we made that familiar banter. Him mentioning his nephew just graduated NYU with a computer science degree. Me promising to pass the resume to my assistant. That's the kind of connection that matters, that built this business from my garage apartment to boardrooms I once couldn't even picture myself in. When we pulled up at LaGuardia, I was focused, laser-sharp, presentation notes, government contacts on speed dial, the kind of confidence you wear like a second skin after 15 years fighting uphill. Now, I travel enough that TSA agents know me by sight, or at least they should. But there's always that moment, the extra ID check, the sidelong glance. The question that never quite gets asked but you hear it just the same. How does someone like you? I'd learned not to let it get to me. Excellence was my shield, success my answer. After clearing security, I made my way to the premium lounge. Even there, the whispers followed. Is he really in first? But I kept my cool, found a corner, got a call from my right hand, Kimberly, confirming everything for San Francisco. The world was in order. I could handle the stairs. When they called first-class boarding, I rolled up to the gate, boarding pass and ID in hand. Smile on my face, ready for another business flight, just another day in the life. But then I met Heather, the gate agent, and the look in her eyes told me this wasn't going to be routine. She stared at my ID like it was radioactive, turned it over, shined her little light on it, called over Brian to double-check. Suddenly, I'm standing there, with my credentials, my corporate booking, my platinum status, and she's treating me like I'm trying to sneak into first class for the first time. Behind me, a white businessman steps up, clearly impatient. Heather processes him in 5 seconds flat. Have a wonderful flight, Mr. Peterson, while I'm still in limbo, waiting, feeling every eye in that gate area land on me. Brian tells me there's a flag on my reservation, but won't explain. They call the supervisor Scott Peterson. Yeah, same name as the passenger, weirdly. And he tells me first class is overbooked. He'll need to reassign me to economy. I can see my seat, 2A, sitting empty behind him. I point that out, calmly, but he doubles down. We have discretion over seating assignments. Maybe you'd be more comfortable in economy today. You know that line. We've all heard it, or one just like it. By now, a crowd's forming, some folks recording on their phones. A woman even speaks up for me. Scott snaps at her to mind her business. In that moment, I feel the weight of all the times I let something slide for the sake of peace, for the bigger picture. But today, something's different. Maybe it's the public humiliation. Maybe it's just the exhaustion of carrying myself with double grace every damn day. I tell him, neither seat. I want my ID and boarding pass back. Scott shrugs, tells me I should be grateful for the offer. That's when it hit me, the word grateful. Like I owed him for the privilege of being diminished. Like I was supposed to thank him for not making it worse. I took my things, stepped aside, and for a second, I thought about just booking another flight. San Francisco was waiting. Was this really the hill to die on? Then my father's words came back. There's dignity they try to take from you, and dignity you give away. Never give yours away. So I made a call. Nathan Reynolds, my college roommate, now chief of staff at the Department of Transportation. I don't play the I know people card unless I have to, but this time, I laid it all out. The overbooking lie. The way I was treated, the visible difference between me and every other first-class passenger. Nathan listened, and I could hear the shift in his voice. "Stay at the gate," he said. "Let me make some calls." 15 minutes later, the impossible started to unfold. Over 150 national American Airlines flights grounded. Screens lighting up with cancellations. Passengers stranded from coast to coast. The company's stock tanked. $2 billion wiped out in less than an hour. News alerts everywhere. Airport staff panicking. Scott Peterson pale as a ghost. I got a text from Nathan. "Check the news. They messed with the wrong CEO today. I hadn't meant for any of this. Just wanted to get to my meeting, to be treated with the respect I'd earned." But sometimes, you light a match and realize you're standing on a pile of kindling. The next few hours were a blur. DOT enforcement at the gate, news vans outside. Social media blowing up with #FlyingWhileBlack and stories pouring in from Black professionals, business travelers, ordinary folks who'd been randomly selected, denied upgrades, or had their dignity chipped away, flight after flight. By afternoon, I was on a private jet. Yeah, the irony wasn't lost on me. Heading to San Francisco for a meeting I nearly missed. The headlines had shifted from tech CEO denied seat to DOT grounds airline over discrimination, and by evening, the president himself had been briefed. The airline CEO called me. Offered millions, lifetime first class, the whole 9 yards. I told him, "Keep it. I want structural change and accountability, not hush money." Next day, he resigned. The company pledged to overhaul its practices. Congressional hearings started. Other airlines followed suit, afraid of being next. 6 months later, I returned to LaGuardia. First-class ticket in hand, and the agent at the gate, Anthony Johnson, young, Black, professional, looked me in the eye and welcomed me aboard. No drama, no questions, just respect. An older woman squeezed my shoulder as she passed. "Thank you," she whispered, "for making it better for us all." But let's be real. The story doesn't end with a new CEO or a diversity committee. It ends and begins again. Every time someone refuses to accept less than they deserve. Every time someone says, "No, I won't give away my dignity today." It's about the people in the comments right now who've been told to be grateful for crumbs. About the quiet battles fought in airports, boardrooms, and break rooms all across America. So, what would you do? After all that, would you fly National American again? Would you accept their apology or keep holding them accountable? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, I want to hear them. Every story adds up, and every voice matters. And if you've ever stood up, even when your voice shook, share that too. Maybe someone who needs courage will see it and find their own. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and remember, sometimes all it takes is one person refusing to sit down to make the whole system stand up and take notice. Your dignity is non-negotiable.